Hey everybody, I meant to have this up on Halloween, so I'm a few days late. I've been very busy. I mean, it's college. What can I do? And this is about my fourth or fifth time reshooting this whole thing. So with all that being said, let's just get into it. Hocus Pocus is one of the worst movies I've ever had the dishonor of seeing. Corpse Bride was basically worthless watching and had some cool visuals and some funny visual gags, but other than that, it was pointless. I didn't really enjoy it that much. I finally saw the original Psycho, and I don't know if I ever want to see it again. It was fine, but it was pretty boring. It was important to see, and there were some cool parts to it, but I don't think I'll ever watch it again. Now, this is one that I actually forgot to do last month, but I saw Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and it was nothing all that special. Some of the effects were pretty cool. I mean, it's Guillermo del Toro. He usually does a pretty good job with stuff. It was nothing much more than a substandard modern horror movie, so it is what it was. I saw one of Christopher Nolan's first movies, Memento, and I loved it through the entire thing up until about the last 20 minutes, which just fell apart for me. I hate the ending. I hated it. It was so bland. I saw it coming from a mile away. I'd predicted it a long time ago. I was really hoping they were going to go somewhere else with it, and then they didn't. There were some really great reveals in it, but most of it, I just predicted the whole thing. So the reveal by the ending feels like nothing to me. Other than that, it was well written for the most part, and I enjoyed it, but because of that last 20 minutes, I can't ever see me sitting down and enjoying this ever again. Fittingly, I saw the original Halloween on Halloween Day. It was okay. It was goofy, in a 70s way. John Carpenter makes good movies. The Thing is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I forgot to add that on my top 50 list from a few months back. But he knows how to make good movies, and this being one of the most famous and iconic horror movies, I expected a little bit more from it, but it wasn't terrible. I'd seen bits and pieces of this movie for years on end, but I finally got to watch the entire thing. It was fine. I see how influential it was, and there were some really great scenes in it. And the twist at the end, if you don't know what it is fantastic. It's really good. It's a classic Halloween movie, and for what it's worth, it's well made. So, I enjoyed it. Yeah, this whole vlog thing is weird. I'm probably not going to do this again. This is one of my family's favorite movies. While I was working at a movie theater, they loved it so much I brought home this huge poster for them. So, everybody in my family really likes this, but I'd never gotten the chance to see it. I finally did, and it was fine. It was charming. It was cute. Bryan Cranston and Kevin Hart really do hold the whole thing together, and they have really good chemistry. I know this is a remake of a foreign film, so I'll probably need to see that one at some point just to see how it compares with this one. But for what it's worth, I did really enjoy it, and I wouldn't mind sitting through it again sometime in the future. I got to see the original Hellboy. The movie itself wasn't super interesting or anything, but the character of Hellboy is just so much fun. Some of the effects are kind of outdated, but it really doesn't matter, because Hellboy is a great character, and I really enjoyed just watching this little kooky adventures of his throughout the entire thing. Man on Fire is kind of all over the place, and the editing kind of breaks up things every now and then, but for whatever reason, it keeps sticking in my mind. Some of the dialogue, especially for the little girl throughout the entire thing, was terrible, but I really enjoyed it. I don't know. Rosemary's Baby was really good. I love just how petty all of the Satan worshippers are. Like, they're all just people doing their thing, and it's really funny. I really like how the beginning ties into the ending. It was good. I kind of wish we could have seen the demon baby at the end. I know it looked terrible because it was made in the 60s, but it all added to the charm. I don't know. I still really enjoyed it. I highly recommend this one. I have a couple problems with it, but The Descent is fantastic. The Descent was a wonderful time. It's shot incredibly well. I love the ending. It's visually incredible. I highly recommend this one too. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of the funniest movies I have ever seen. It opened really promisingly. I thought it was going to be, like, actually scary, and other than a couple minutes throughout the entire thing, nope. It's a funny period piece road trip movie where everybody looks like Elton John, and everybody's just so, like, upset at everything. It's hilarious. It came from the same guy who made Poltergeist, so I expected something legitimately, like, well-made and upsetting or something. It totally wasn't, but I enjoyed every minute of it. Joker is a legitimately fantastic movie that I'd highly recommend to anybody, so if it's still in theaters, go check it out. It's really good. It borrows a lot from other movies, but it had some really good sequences in it, Particularly the final third is really, really good. So I recommend checking this one out. And the last thing I watched this month was No Country for Old Men. I can't totally explain why I loved it just so much, but it's really, really fantastic. Anton Chigurh is one of the best villains I've ever seen in any film ever. And the Coen brothers, like, even though they break tons of rules and stuff, it's just fantastic. It's really, really good. Watch it if you haven't already. You probably have. I mean, it's like a cultural landmark and a modern-day masterpiece, but boy, oh boy, was it good. As for TV this month, I really don't have that much. I watched the first couple episodes of She-Ra and the Princess of Power on Netflix. It was fine. It's not really my thing. I liked some of the character design, but that was about it. Next, I watched the pilot episode of Hazbin Hotel, and I actually have a lot to say about this one, but I'm going to try and keep this brief. Hazbin Hotel poses a lot of questions in its opening episode, and I get the feeling that I'm not going to get answers to many of those questions. It kind of has this attitude of, don't think about it. Just watch it and try and enjoy it. But I can't do that if none of the rules of the world are set up, because the rules aren't set up in this world. There's ideas for this world, but there's nothing there. I don't get it. If you want to know more about the questions I have, I suggest watch the pilot first. It's only half an hour long. And then read the description of this video, because I put the questions down there, and I don't want to spoil anything for you just in this episode itself. So go watch the pilot, then read the description, and maybe you'll see what I'm talking about. This is a really weird complaint to make, but it's kind of overly produced, like it's too well made. There's so much detail in some of the backgrounds and the character designs and stuff that it all meshes together and your eyes don't know what to look at. Sometimes it really works, and a lot of the times it just doesn't. It's a weird predicament to have. Like, honestly, if they had just done less work on some things, it would have ended up better. For a show that's only half an hour long, the pacing is really slow. It feels a lot longer for whatever reason. And like I said, there's a lack of rules set up in the world, which could imply that the writing is sloppy, but we'll have to see further down the line. That being said, there are some really, really good things in this. Particularly the two song sequences that appear in the show are fantastic, and they're super well animated and great to look at. And going along with that, the character design in the show is fantastic. The radio demon, in particular, just has this great design, and everything about him, from the way he looks, from the way his character is edited, from how he talks, it's a really, really cool idea. And while I think that the writing in this show isn't very good so far because of the lack of rules being set up, it's pretty funny. It has a good sense of humor. And just because I don't think this is perfect, that doesn't mean I'm not going to continue watching. It's clear that the creators of this show put a ton of effort and a ton of passion into this product. And they clearly love what they're doing, and that really seeps into the work that is being shown. So I'm gonna keep with it and see what happens. And finally, I also watched season 4 of BoJack Horseman. I'd seen the first 3 seasons when they came out originally, and I loved them, but then I just kind of fell off for whatever reason. And with the final seasons coming out, I figured it'd be good to just catch up on it. And boy oh boy. Season 4 doesn't hit you with as many gut punches as the other seasons do, but the last 20 minutes of the final episode really, really hit close to home. Jeez. Yeah, highly recommend that. BoJack Horseman is one of the smartest and most well-written shows I've ever seen, and it really does have the capacity to change your life, so I highly, highly recommend it. Look into it. It's one of Netflix's best series, so yeah. So yeah, this video was kind of different. I'm probably not going to do it again. It was quick, but we'll see what happens. So, thanks for watching. Sorry if you were expecting a bit more from this video, but that's what I watched this past month. I'll see you in a bit.